Our next speaker is Dr. Ayan Mahamoud, who is a senior program coordinator with the Drought Resilience Initiative at the International Agency for the Intergovernmental Agency for Development, IDDRSI. The Drought Resilience Initiative is a 15-year program worth over $1.5 billion and covering 7 countries. Ayan currently also manages the USAID program portfolio at IGAD and deals with issues related to resilience, climate fragility risks, climate adaptation, dryland development, and conflict prevention and early warning. Ayan, the microphone is yours. I also know that we have a presentation and I am going to manage that in a second.
Good afternoon, Bernardo. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear me?
There you go. Yes, we can. And let me share my screen then so that I can, is it? Okay, I think this is it.
As you rightly said, I'm from IGAD, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and we've been. It's I don't know how much we know about it. Let me take half a second to present. It's a regional economic commission from part of the African Union, one of the 8 of the African Union, and it has 8 member countries, among which Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Eritrea, and Uganda. Next, please. I'll start by a historical trend. My friend Oli said this is not a new problem. It's not. There's nothing new about it, and I can only agree. As you can see, the Horn of Africa region has been characterized over the past 40, 50 years by a recurrent and prolonged period of drought, intense desertification, soil erosion. It's say 70 to 75% of the region is an arid and semi-arid, characterized as arid and semi-arid lands, and of course with pastoral and agro-pastoral communities depending on livelihood, depending on the rainfall and availability of water. All of those have been now, of course, these are now nothing new. The problem with climate change has exacerbated and diminished and depleted the land productivity. It has clearly changed the grazing patterns. Next, please. That now takes me to the historical trend in terms of conflict. I'm not going to go through the whole slide, but these are just a small excerpt of what has been going on for the past 40 to 50 years in the region. In Sudan, for example, the climate change I wouldn't say started, but anyhow, it has had a long-lasting effect on the country since the early 80s, with the famine alone in the Darfur region, killing nearly 100,000 of its inhabitants. In Sudan, still that has led to mass ecological migration, disrupting the harmony between herders and pastoralists. In Somalia, year after year, we have those numbers. 2.5 million people now been forced from their home because of drought and insecurity, Al-Shabaab being one of the factors, risk of starvation. In Tigray, years of drought have contributed to its pattern of settlement. Just to remind the audience here that Tigray is the Tigray region hosts over 100,000 Eritrean, any conflict in the Tigray region nowadays has a spillover in Eritrea, Sudan, and Somalia. So as you see, it's an extremely volatile situation. And this has been exacerbated by the recent conflict and war that began early November 2020 in Tigray. Next, please. So what we decided as IGAD is to work as a region. As you'd see, any incidence of conflict in the IGAD member countries has a long-term effect and spillover on its neighbors. So what we decided, when we say we work as a region, our member state decided to act nationally, but with a broad and regional thinking. They identify 8 cross-border area, as you can see on the map. They've decided to align relief with development and long-term planning. And instead of being preventive, we decided to be instead of being reactive, we decided to be preventive, holistic, and multisectoral. I'll break it down on what it means for peace building shortly. We also decide to invest in arid and semi-arid land. Remember, this is 60-70% of the region is mostly arid and semi-arid land, and conflicts, the natural resource-based conflict tend to spill over and turn into ethnic, tend to be enmeshed with ethnic polarization. Next, please.
Can you see the next slide or?
No, and you might have skipped the slide. I know, let me just continue and then when you catch up. So we set up what we call-
Yeah, I had this slide that I
yes.
thought you'd seen. I can have this and then go to the other one of the program.
Yes, thank you. So this actually now brings me to our approach of peace building. For us, we tackle conflict, peace building and conflict prevention through what you call climate resilience and drought resilience. In this instance, we have identified, as you see, and as Farah already said, this is a complex programming. It's a mesh of climate information, of conflict information, of livestock development, of basic social services, health, and migration. That includes also a component of preventing and countering violent extremism and radicalization. So with that being said, we developed a strategy, an initiative, a 15-year initiative. Next slide. You can now jump to the spider slide. Yes. Yes, that one. That being said, we're saying that this is now a strategy. We through the IGAD Resilience Initiative, we are able to tackle natural environment and natural resource management, in the sense that you bring bring community together to sustainably manage the resources. You have a component on livelihood diversification. You see there's a clear priority area on conflict prevention, resolution, and peace building. Of course, we use our research community and technology to come and support disaster risk management. And just priority number 8, which now tackles also the human capital, gender and the social development. Next, please. So through that platform, we were able to identify conflict typologies and drivers of fragility, 60 different high-level, high-priority typologies of conflict that for us have to be tackled and taken up front. I'm not going through all of it, but for each of our member states, you will see conflict sensitive development is a key priority, and this was done in consultation with the national government and community organization and the civil society. You'd see issues of land, you'll see issues of gender-based violence, and etc. And all of those are identified across the region as priority conflict drivers of fragility and conflict typologies. Next, please. So with that in mind, our C1 is one of the IGAD arm, the one that deals with the conflict early warning and response mechanism. With that in mind, we developed the conflict sensitivity approach to resilience programming. They made sure that we as practitioners were able to understand the drivers behind the conflict, either with our programming, are we exacerbating, maintaining, or initiating a conflict? Are we, any of our projects or program had to be designed to fit, to be gender sensitive and conflict sensitive in order to promote social cohesion, economic and ecological sustainability. So they started by organizing some community dialogue, and then this bottom-up approach, whereby it's thanks to the community and thanks to those consultations that you're able to develop and come up with a conflict-sensitive resilience program. Next, please. That platform also allows us to accommodate for what you call emerging trust. Some of the key questions that come up from those consultations is the pastoralism as questioning pastoralism as a lifestyle with urbanization and youth that are living for the city, and youth that are nowadays more prone to radicalization because of unemployment and lack of opportunity. The challenge is due to what you call crossover for in-migration. You know, pastoralists moving to another region to settle, issues of food security and insecurity in some instances, nutrition, rangeland management, and natural resources. Of course, land governance is a key question, but that can't be not the only one. For example, we also now see resurgence of cattle rustling, some transnational crimes such as trafficking and smuggling, in addition to violent extremism, and for the pastoralist people, for the livestock, they have this intricate balance for survival of their livestock, whereby you see peace as part of this equation to ensure the survival of their livestock. Next, please. So this is a huge, as you can imagine, this is a huge machinery that requires the action of everybody. I mean, you see the private sector, you see the youth, you see the member states, you see, of course, the implementing.
Sorry, just a 1 minute warning. I apologize, but I wasn't sure if you were seeing the chat with the slides on, and I just wanted to.
I missed it out. Thank you. Yes, I'm concluding.
1 minute warning.
Yes. So as you can see, but this youth machine has the role of informing our program under development and if necessary, reshaping it so that we're able to take into consideration those emerging thrusts that I mentioned earlier. Next, please. This is just a small recap on what we've been able to achieve so far in terms of resilience programming. Of course, standard water resource development, securing access to resources, promoting livestock mobility, trade, etc. and etc. I mean, this is just standard resilience programming. But in addition to that, and next slide, please, Bernardo. In addition to that, we are next slide, please. Yes, we are now bringing more and more the various arm of the organization together. With here, we are seeing as a way to tackle peace building, environmental peace building. We are using climate science as a way as an entry point to help conflict prevention, in the sense that with climate information, we are able to secure the pastoral assets and combine that with social protection and safety net. And we're hoping that to be transformative and significant enough for substantial impact that we see on growth and poverty reduction in our member states. Next, please. As a conclusion for us, we as IGAD, how would I say? I think the slide speaks for itself. We had the imperative of working as a region. It was a luxury for us. The member states couldn't set up and say, okay, well, I'm just going to focus on the issues within my border. No, because of the intricacy and the complexity of those issues and the drivers behind it, we had to opt for coordination, joint monitoring, joint action such as joint resource mobilization, creating cross-border synergy, developing common framework, sharing information, and etc. Thank you so much. I hope it was informative enough.